We're live. What's up, everyone? A lot of stuff going on in the news. Of course, we got to talk about the Scott Bessent new comment on Fox News that the US isn't interested in buying new Bitcoin. That has caused a little bit of drama in the crypto space. A ton of XRP news. I saw that XRP Ledger reached $1 billion in real world asset tokenization. We're going to talk about that as well. And a lot of stuff happening on Base across the ecosystem. Let me just close my door here. I forgot I turned the washing machine on. Hold on 1 second. All right, back in here. What's up, everybody? Let's just check in here. Looks like we have Amy here first. Greetings from London. I am Y. Nice to see you. Scarface is here. Let's pump up these prices. Florida Native Son is now a new member here on YouTube. I appreciate your support. Thank you, man. James Grieve. What's up, dude? How you doing? Who else we got here? Christopher's here. Of course, Christopher's here. Great to see you, man. Always a pleasure. Was the value incorrect? I mean, everybody was tweeting about it. I saw it actually on the website, but then like I saw it not on the website. So we got to take a look at that. What's going on? Because I looked it up this morning and it was there and then it wasn't. So like X, Y, Z. Let's just take a look here. Let's just jump into it, man. Hold on. Let's just get into this real quick. So this is the website that I was posted on. XRP. So you can go to anyone can go to this website here, realworldassets.xyz. You type in XRP and boom. All right, so yeah, see, it was here earlier, which is very strange. Oh yeah, here, Vert Capital, 171 million. Okay, so it was misposted in here. Is that what you're saying? That sucks, man. That sucks. But we're going to talk about it, what Vert is doing. I looked it up earlier. Man, it's crazy too. Everybody was talking about this earlier. It's crazy that the number was wrong. All right, I'll fix that too. I'll fix it too. All right, let's do this. Before we jump into that, let's just take a look at the market, and then I want to get into some of this news. So Bitcoin's kind of cooling off here. It's about up 0.44. Ethereum's up 10%, right? Ethereum is going to be pushing past $5,000 before you know it here. XRP's struggling to stay above $3 and like 10 cents. We're down 6.57% today. BNB is up. Solana is up a bit. Tron, Cardano is up 18%, bro. I've been telling people about Cardano, up 18%. Love to see that. Chainlink is up 9%. XLM's down a little bit. Sui's down a little bit. HBAR is down a little bit. Some pretty decent buying opportunities here for the long run. All right. My friend Richard sent this to me. I thought this was pretty funny. I started laughing out loud. So what he sent me this is because of this video right here. Let me show you this.
We've also started to get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that. I believe that Bitcoin reserve at today's prices is somewhere between 15 and 20 billion.
Ready?
And Mr. Secretary, all of these ideas to monetize the asset side of.
We've also
wait.
To get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we're
not going to be buying it. Okay, it was in the middle. I didn't have my headphones on yet. Sorry, my team clipped the shorter clip of this. This clip was like a minute and something. But the US is now saying that they're not looking to buy additional Bitcoin. This is kind of drifting away from kind of the promises over the last few months, right? This was the big push of how we're going to buy more Bitcoin, how we're going to acquire, crypto assets. I don't know. Part of me is like, did we just get like pump and dumped by the Trump administration on Bitcoin? And I don't know. I don't know what to feel. I think this is the reason the market's kind of cooled off a bit here with when it comes to Bitcoin and a few other assets. I think people were expecting the government to come in and prop up their bags, and it doesn't look like that's even an option at this point. So I don't really know how to feel about that. Let me see how you guys are feeling. They used it kind of feels like that, man. It kind of feels like that. WH says say memes like Millie and saying, okay, you buying some memes? That's cool. We're gonna talk about some base projects though, man. I've been dipping my toes in the base projects, and we can make some money. Last few weeks have been pretty good, man. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But anyways, I also wanted to show you this clip too. This clip is surfacing on X today. This is about our favorite subject on the channel. We're not going to get into it, but we're just going to play the clip.
The president's tariff plan brought in more than $28 billion in July, a fresh monthly high. Tariffs are becoming the third largest source of income for government. And the last time you were with me, you told me that you would expect $300 billion in tariff revenue, but I think you are increasing that expectation right now, aren't you?
I am. So I think August, September is going to be a very good test. I've been saying that I think we can take in $300 billion. And as the Treasury Secretary, I like to be conservative, but there's a chance that I'm going to have to substantially upgrade that number. And Maria, the way to think about it for your viewers is every $300 billion is 1% of GDP. We were left with a mess. The deficit to GDP, 6.5, 6.7%, highest when we were not in a recession, not at war. So just the tariff revenue can bring that down into the fives, which fits with this administration's plan of getting the deficit to GDP back into the threes, the long-term average, before President Trump.
Why does this guy always look like he's got a stick in his bum or something? Like he always has this really like forced face. I don't know what it is about Scott Bessent. Anyways, they're maybe going to have to revise their initial statements about tariff income. It's about 300 billion is the goal for 2025. I think they've gotten about 115 or 120 billion dollars so far. So this is fairly manageable if they keep getting months of 30 billion, 30 billion, 30 billion. The issue here is, are these tariffs causing issues in other parts of the economy? And so when you take a look at that information, you start to see inflation starting to come back. And we all remember the last few years and how this was such fun to deal with. But here we go. The annual consumer price index inflation rate was 2.7 year over year, July 2025, steady from June. Month to month, CPI rose 0.02% in July, showing a modest increase. Core CPI jumped 3.1% year over year with a 0.3% month over month gain. Inflation is being led by an increase in vehicles, services, airfares, and used cars and trucks. Energy costs, such as food, gasoline, are decreasing. Food inflation held steady at 2.9% in July. Recent tariff hikes in the U.S. government are beginning to influence prices, prompting expectations of somewhat elevated inflation. We have people, kids are starting to go back to school right now, and parents are starting to feel that extra push in their pocketbook. The reason I bring this up is because, if you have an additional 300 billion in tariffs in the United States, it's $300 billion that people don't have to do other stuff with, right? This $300 billion you're handing over to the government to run your business here in the United States if you're importing these goods. Is that good for business? I guess we'll see long term, but personally, anyways, here's some interesting news though. You do have the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, was on Fox News. I think this was earlier today, actually. And what he says in this clip is really interesting. You have to listen closely, and I will slow it down when I want to point something out to you. But check this out.
So a couple of weeks ago, the administration issued the President's Working Group's report on digital assets in the United States, and there were clear directions to the SEC. We're part of the PWG, that President's Working Group, and clear recommendations for us to go forward and help make what the President has announced, his intention to make America
Here you
the
go.
crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology.
Listen to
So
this.
we're
Listen to
moving
this.
announced his intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology.
Have the world run on American technology, right? He's talking about crypto technology there. You start to wonder, like, hey, right? Obviously, he's not talking about Bitcoin there, right? Because nobody's using Bitcoin for anything other than a store of value. He's not talking about Ethereum because Ethereum is not American innovation. They're based in what, Switzerland? So what is he talking about there, right? You also have to understand, it's one thing for the US to say, I'd like the world to use the technology, but you can't really demand that the world does it, right? You can have soft power and these types of things and ask forcefully, of course, but at the end of the day, the other countries that you're wanting to push this new technology onto, they have to feel comfortable with the technology. And you start to wonder, like, how, remember when Ripple was sued by the SEC and it really forced them to go out and build this global business, right? I do think in that respect, it helped Ripple a lot because it forced them, into places like Latin America, right? South America, parts of Asia, Middle East, right? There are all of these different hubs around the world, places in Europe, that Ripple really is probably the technology of choice when it comes to cross-border payments or maybe building a stablecoin on that infrastructure. So just interesting to see the SEC chairman out here basically telling the world, we want you to be using our crypto innovation, our crypto technology. If you missed it again, let me rewind it for you.
Intention to make America the crypto capital of the world and have the world run on American technology. So we're mobilizing at the SEC all our different divisions and offices to focus on making that announcement become reality. So that's with our corporation finance division, investment management, and others. We're focusing on what we can do to make the regulations of the SEC encompass the crypto assets and also make it so that people can have some clarity going forward.
Man, anyone else kind of get bullish when you're hearing Scott, the SEC chairman talk about American innovation globally? I mean, it does sound like keep those tariffs going. Bill E loves the tariffs. He says keep them going. All right, Bill E, fair enough, man. Some people love them. Some people don't love them, right? I don't even know if this is like a 50-50 conversation. I'd have to look at like who is bullish about tariffs and who is not. I wonder if there's like some actual statistics we can look at. Hold on, let's see if we can look this up. Is there actual data on who is for tariffs in the US and who is against? I'm interested to see if there is any data we can look at here. Majority support in multiple 2025 polls, around 58 to 71% of Republicans say that higher tariffs, say that they support higher tariffs and are willing to accept higher prices for a prolonged period if the benefits as manufacturing jobs or economic growth. Ew. Do you think those people who voted like yes for tariffs, do you think they realize that the US is not really a manufacturing powerhouse anymore, and like maybe like 8% or 9% of everything that we do is in manufacturing and everything else is actually in services now? I mean, who's going to work a manufacturing job, for minimum wage when people are trying to, do other things? I just don't think, you're very well connected with the data here on what people like. Positive economic, 87% of people believe the tariffs will help the U.S. economy, and 90% see potential job creation as a positive outcome. Well, I hate to break it to you guys, right? The jobs data just came back minus 250,000 jobs, the worst report that we've had since COVID. Ooh, all right. Well, better hope it all works out. Let's keep it going here. Axelar is indeed simple. AXL is the blockchain interoperability token utility and tokenomics that scale. AXL keeps it simple when it comes to operating mechanics. The Axelar token is the current supply is locked in the reward pool by chains. Axelar locked its distributed verifiers. 98% of the fees get burnt. That's pretty juicy. If you're talking about 98% of the fees get burned, you'd have to take a look at like how many fees are actually being burned a day and like what could that look like at scale. But definitely something to take a look at here if you're interested. Looks like Tether, Circle, Stripe, Ripple, the stablecoin vertical integration race. We talk about this a lot in my long form videos here on YouTube. Let me just pull this back up. I do apologize. When you're talking about blockchain innovation and blockchain rails, there's only so much technology, right? There's only so much new rails right now. Okay. And now you have banks, central banks, different governments around the world. You have different financial institutions, financial market infrastructures. You have sovereign wealth funds, insurance companies. You have all of these new entities getting into the crypto space, right? And like, let me say, if you're BlackRock or, you're Bank of America or one of these gigantic banks, and you haven't really done too much in the blockchain space, you're all now competing for this new technology, right? You're all competing for the same amount of rails that is currently in existence in this new financial system, right? So imagine there's 11,000 banks connected to Swift. We're going to wake up at a certain point here where those banks are going to feel like they're going to want a piece of whatever's left. You got to imagine this is why Ripple is buying, different pieces off the board right now, because they know that infrastructure is going to be worth a whole lot more down the line. Here is the reason why people should stay away from, leverage plays, but I know people like to do it. But here is the heat map for leverage plays over the last 24 hours. The markets, Vandal here from Black Swan Capital says mass market manipulation in full display. This is why you never touch leverage. The markets have a way of defying logic, and they just remind everyone who's really in control. You got to understand, if you're just trading with, whatever amount of money you have, you're trading against institutions with supercomputers, AI algorithms, and people that, these people can burn through hundreds of millions of dollars very quickly to go through all of this. So you just got to be very careful when you go long on something. Make sure that you know what you're doing, because I've seen a lot of people get wrecked. All right. I did think this was a historic moment. I thought this was pretty effing cool, to be honest with you. Trump and Putin are meeting in Alaska right now to try to hopefully discuss peace in Ukraine. Whatever your thought is one way or another, I thought this was a gangster move. All right. So here's Trump and Putin walking to this podium, right? And watch what Trump does. Check this out. He flies a freaking, what is it? B-52? No, what is that? Was it B-2 stealth bomber? And he flies F-35s or F-22 Raptors above him. That made me smile. That made me really smile today. I couldn't believe that's what he did. That was a ballsy move. I mean, just look at this. You're standing underneath this. He's like, oh shit, like what's coming? He's like, are we about to get a bomb dropped on us? Look, there's a little panic here. Oh man, that was a power move right there. I really enjoyed that. That was good. All right. ETH ETFs have added 3.4 billion over the last 5 days, compared to 966 million for Bitcoin ETFs during the same period of time. All right. I did want to get into some of these newer base projects though, because like this stuff is like wild, man. Tales from Unexpected. Hey, fabulous human sensei. You are an amazing human. Thanks for bringing so much positivity in such a crazy world. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I know sometimes my opinions are not, not everyone's favorite, but I appreciate you. I hope we're having fun. Dude, John, that was awesome, dude. That was one of the coolest things I've seen Trump do in recent time. Like that was something where I'm like, okay, Like that was a boss move. I don't know if like Biden or anybody else would have done what he did. Like that was I got I got to give him some respect on that, dude. That was freaking awesome, bro. Yeah, B-2 bomber, the same one that used to destroy Iran. Well, technically they did it really right. They Iran moved a lot of the stuff and they're rebuilding. We're not going to get into that, but yes, those were the same. They dropped what was it, like 30,000-pound bombs, right? The Moabs, those were pretty cool, man. Dude, that made my day. Like I was building the chat, right? I was building the chat and I was like, oh, what's this, right? Because this is like an historic summit, right? Them coming together. Now, I personally don't love what Putin's been doing in Ukraine. I think, they should leave Ukraine. But they're gonna do what they're gonna do here. Personally, I don't know why you wouldn't have Zelensky at the meeting, but I don't know, man. It's just crazy stuff, dude. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You know what's even crazier though? Like, who has a lot of Russian technology that are probably like kicking themselves right now? It's China. China stole a lot of IP from Russia. And so, you start to see like how well Ukraine is done with American weapons, right? And European weapons. And you start to imagine like what could China really do? Obviously, they have the manpower, they have the ships, and they have all this other stuff. But as far as like actual technology goes, I think the US and NATO partners still have some of the best technology, dude. Yeah, I know. I hear you. People hate when I talk politics. I get it. Well, we're not really talking politics. We're talking more about like economy and tariffs and these types of things, right? Hard, like, what people don't really understand is like this stuff affects the rest of the markets, right? And so if you're not kind of like paying attention to what's really going on underneath with all of these numbers, like you're not actually looking at the right data. So me coming up here and telling you stuff, or me coming up here and showing you stuff, I'd rather show you stuff, right? I get that, some people don't like my opinions, and I respect that, right? We're all human and we all have our different things, the way that we look at stuff, but all good. Trump is the GOAT. Some people feel that way. Dude, his heart definitely skipped a beat, Charles. Dude, I know you guys love Trump. I get it. I know. I understand. I understand. All right. Let's talk about a few things here. Okay. So right now, a lot of liquidity is on base chain. Okay. If you're not familiar with what base chain is, it's a layer 2 on Ethereum. It's Coinbase's chain. Okay. And on base chain, you are getting a ton of people building newer technologies. Now, full transparency here, a lot of this stuff is going to pump. And then when it comes to the bear market, a lot of this stuff will not make it through. Okay. But what you're not looking here is like, when people buy XRP or HBAR or something like that, right? They might be looking at a 5 or 10 year window. Okay. And you might not get a huge jump in those prices in bull markets because they have so much in market cap, right? It's hard to move something that has a $200 billion market cap to 2x or 3x or 4x, right? And so sometimes, when I'm investing in the crypto market, I am often looking for big liquidity pushes one way or another. I'm also looking with like how many active buyers are participating in that ecosystem. And I think it would be crazy for me not to bring up some of the things that we have been talking about in Cryptonaires the last few weeks, okay? Because some of this stuff is really, really potent. And these are all things that are like really low market caps, have the chance to do some pretty silly numbers, and definitely making some money here. So let's take a look at one of these projects that I just posted about earlier today. This project is called Aura by Virtuals. Now, if you come up to the Twitter account here, they're kind of posting stuff. We've reached 1,000 friends on chain. We're so happy about that. Holders are growing. There's a lot of people that believe this thing, can go to 100 million. Deploys AI agents native crypto capabilities in minutes, uses our MCPs to access real-time market data, execute trades, and analyze on-chain activity. So there's a lot of these apps that are really, really becoming popular for people. Kind of helps you do your trading for you, or adds some type of value. These AI agents often will pump dramatically and then like come back down. But if you can time this stuff right, you can gain 2, 3, 4, 500% pretty simply on some of these plays. And so this is one that I just posted about today. This was roughly about 1 million when I posted it. I was seeing if this would come back down a little. I really wanted to enter this maybe about 1 million. Even if I get it less, that's great. But I did post this right about 1 million. It's 1.4 million right now. It is up 254% in the 24 hours. So just be careful. Like I DCA'd, I put a little bit of money in here, and as the price goes, I will DCA into my position. All right. So I'm looking to anywhere, maybe do like a 3 to 5x on this. Anything after that would be, easy, not easy. It'd be, extra juice. That would be great. But this is something that I actively am taking a position in. I also wanted to show you this. Okay. Async is the ticker. This is at 1.3 million. Again, I posted this in Cryptonaires, roughly about $1 million market cap. This is Meet Async infrastructure layer for the agentic Web3 community. Basically backed by, Google Cloud, Alchemy. They have some pretty interesting partners here, but the products, you got Terminal, you got Shell here. Async Terminal is the first ambient AI agent built specifically for Virtual's ecosystem. It functions as your 24/7 autonomous and analyst, constantly working in the background to deliver deep, actionable insights into live tokens. I think this could be very valuable to people and traders. Shell is the primary interface for interacting with an asynchronous network. Excuse me, it's hard to say. It's an autonomous conversational agent system, powered by our underlying technology, sub agents, and NPCs. Anyways, I'm bullish on this. I put a few $1,000s into this token, and we'll see what happens. Like if this goes to 3 or 4 million market cap, I will, I put about $3,000 into this at 1 million market cap. So obviously, if we get to 4 or 5 million, that'll be almost $8,000 to $10,000 profit. I would probably pull back 50% of my position and let the rest ride and see how high this thing can go. But people are actively trying to buy this. Here's another project that was brought up in the Cryptonaires community. This one was brought up by Kaylin, and actually I looked at it and I started talking about it frequently too. This is something that has gone up pretty nicely over the last few days. Let me just see here. When was this originally posted? Hold on one second. Sensei portfolio fancy. Oh, here you go. 810. Let me show you this. So this is I'm showing you what it looks like inside of the Cryptonaires Discord. Okay. So I have a section here where I post my updates in my portfolio. If you go to my portfolio and you scroll up here, this is where I put some of this information. And here is fancy on 810. 2025. So if I go back to the chart here, 8/10 2025. 8/10 August. Hold on, what is going on with this chart? Hold on. 8/10 is back here, guys. So 8/10 is right here. So to the top, this is a 400% gain to the top from when it was posted to the top in just the last few days, right? This is up pretty nicely for people that got in. I when I bought this, it did dip some to go back up. So my position, I think I'm up like 100, maybe 50, 160%. Might be a little bit more. I haven't looked at it in the last few hours, but I'm just trying to show you some of the things that I'm actively investing in, posting into the community, and the results of those posts within just a few days. Okay. Fancy or Fossy, I don't know why. Fossy AI store tool, aka FACY. Let me just show you what this is here. Where is About AI Seer join waitlist, fact checker bot, AI's community. Here, this will have a good explanation of what these guys are doing. Okay. Fassi. So here's the thesis. On-chain in a multimodal fact check agent that verifies claims from posts, podcasts, and videos with 92% accuracy with a 3x fewer hallucinations than leading competitors. Built in facility AI, time, best invention 2024, the aiming of the truth layer for the internet. It turns out that noisy content into source-backed verdicts in real time, agent today, deeper signals tomorrow. So this is kind of, it fact checks data that are posted on X or podcasts or videos with 92% accuracy. It works extremely fast. And so people are, bullish on this technology to help kind of what is truth and what isn't. I think with a lot of AI posts today, people don't know what is real and what is not. And this does help you kind of identify that. Another thing that was, has been talking about a lot recently is backroom or room. This is just something that I found maybe yesterday or the day before. Was it yesterday? Anyways, this is backroom launch. Let me just show you what this is. So this is information for the edge. I can't really show you their ad here because it does have some naked people. It's kind of a strange ad, but this is kind of, people are able to build communities inside of this, and some creators are making a ton of money. Like this one creator made 500 grand. Look at this creator fee to enter this is 313,000. Kind of crazy stuff, man. But this is something that a lot of people are interested in using. And I just want to show you what this token is doing right now. This is at 4.6 million. This is basically down about 30% from its all-time high. So I do think this is going to go back to its all-time high and blast past it. This is something that I'm keeping an eye on. I haven't bought a position into this one yet, but this is definitely something that I am keeping a close eye on for that. A lot of people, I always see people in chat asking, or not in chat, but like in YouTube videos, like, people always want to be able to either like ask me a question about something, or they want to get some of this information before I do these like live streams, right? Because I'm only live streaming 2 days of the week right now. I've been trying to like move that up to 3, but I've been creating so much content. It's sometimes hard to do everything at the same time. I've been spending a lot of time posting in Cryptonaires too. So if you're interested, the community is $50 a month. If you want access to this information as I am getting it, I am posting it into the community. I'm pulling it from all different sources, whether it's like private groups on X, whether it's my team finding it. We do have a few people that have been posting some just incredible plays recently. And if you're interested, I will leave the information below. Love to have you guys be a part of the community. All right. There are some things that are heating up on the XRP ledger, just to kind of shift back to XRP now that we talked about some base stuff. Still waiting on one of the biggest XRPL game changes to go live. Come on, validators. What's the holdup? So this is about permissioned domains. I started building a video about this. Let me see if I can pull that research for you and just show you what this is going to be about. I know some people are interested in this XRP information. Let me pull up Perplexity 1 second. Library. I'm not very organized today, guys. I do apologize. I just it's been a long week for me. Okay, here we go. Okay, permission domains. I just want to show you this really quickly. So what is permission domains amendment? It is proposed change to the XRP ledger introduced to improve how domains are registered and verified within the network. This feature is in the process of being voted on by validators, where 22 have voted yes and 13 have voted no. There need 80% consensus to get this thing passed. Right now, it's at 62%. Needs 28 out of 35 votes. The amendment intends to make it possible for domains associated with the XRP ledger entities like exchanges, banks, wallets, and other service providers to be permissioned, meaning that their registration and use are governed by specific rules and the possibility of validation processes. If activated, service providers will need to register domains on the ledger. This can increase trust, transparency, and security. I have seen a lot of people talking about this, that this is what institutions are waiting for. So I'm going to be doing a full video breakdown of this, and what else and what other amendments could be the next game changer for the XRP ledger. Watch out this weekend. I'll be putting it together. Appreciate you, Steven. Yeah, like I gotta say, I'm not very good at taking care of myself. Like we're gonna go get a massage tomorrow, and man, you know how you just don't know how to relax? I'm sure a lot of you probably feel the same way. You just get so into something that everything else kind of doesn't matter as much in your life. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out ways to kind of disconnect from stuff during the day, but I appreciate you, man. I've been this way for 5 years. So, or in the crypto space like this for 5 years, I will reach a point where I'll need to take like a break, but I am taking a somewhat break next month, actually in September. So I will be heading to Brazil in September. My wife's brother, Rodrigo, he's getting married to his girlfriend, Flavia. And so we're going to go attend the wedding. So that should be pretty cool. I'm excited to go back. I've been to Brazil 5 times. It'll be my 6th trip. So excited to do that. Yeah. Like I figure like when it comes to crypto and financial freedom, I figure like I can work my ass off for the next few years and then I could be set for the rest of my life. Right. But like, do I want to take that, do I want to take that on? And whenever I ask that question to myself, the answer is all hell yeah. Let's get it. Let's get this information. Let's, do this as best as we can. And let's try to make as much money as we can, as quickly as we can, and as efficiently as we can. So thank you, man. Chris, great to see you in the chat, man. How are you doing, brother? I was leaving 2 hours ago. I had to drive the freeway live stream, though. I'm getting pretty good at it. Christopher, man, I should stream a little bit later, huh? Yeah, I can post the ticker. Absolutely. Let me pull those in here. Sorry about that. Here you go. Here's the first one I talked about. This is Aura. Let me just pull these back up so you guys see what I'm posting here in real time. So I appreciate you, Ariana, for bringing this up to me. Thank you. So Aura is the first one. Like I said, guys, I'm hoping this dips, right? Whenever I see something that's up 250% in a day, I do start to get a little worried about this, that we're going to have a dip here. Like there's really no support. If you take a look at this, there is no support. Like it would need to come back down. Let's just go into a shorter time frame here. This thing would need to come back down substantially here, right? Like you're talking about a 50% dip possibly, to get to some of these levels, 40% dip, 30% dip. I don't quite think we're going to go back down 50%, but these tokens don't have a lot of liquidity in them and you can get some serious moves. So if this comes back down to like 900,000 or $1 million, I will be entering with a $3,000 position. I did put in $1,500 at about $1 million already. I wanted to buy a little bit more, but by the time I was like shifting some stuff around, it was already like 1.3, 1.4, and then this has come back down. This was like 1.5 or 1.6, and so it's come back down a little bit. Okay, this one is async. Let me go ahead and post this for you guys if you're interested in taking a look at this one. And I mean, this is just a fraction of what we're posting in Cryptonaires too. Like I know some people don't love Discord and you have to worry about the scammers and like it's sometimes a headache, but there's some people that I really care about in that community. And, I'll spend the time to help those people out. And then here is Fancy or Facey. I don't know why I call it Fancy. I need to add an N here. This is Facey. This has gone up substantially over the last few. I mean, look at this. This is just in the last 5 days. This thing is up 400%. So this is a great call by Kalen in our Discord. Happy to have that guy on our team there. So yeah, those are 3 of the projects that I'm willing to kind of put out and share with you guys. But there is like let me just look at my deck screener on. I don't use what's it called as much, but so we talked about Aura. We talked about. Let me see here. This was interesting, right? Creative offer. Let me pull this. Let me show you this. This is like a new trend of projects. Let me show you this one. So I had found this at $1 million market cap. Like as this was starting to go here, I found it at $1 million. I posted it in Kryptonaires at $1 million. This thing went up to like 3 or 4 million and has since come back down to 1.8 million. But we're still up really nice on this position. Even if I, like I'm still holding this position. I was asleep and I didn't take some profit here, which I should have done. That's my bad. But this is also something that people are, getting interested in. Let me just show you what this looks like here. Creative Office is the team shaping the visual ID of Base. So they're actually working with Base. Our work sits between cultural research, symbolic language, and on-chain experimentation. And this is kind of just a new form of projects. It's a little harder to buy though, because like you have to get on this Zora app. So like I tried to buy this straight off Uniswap. It wasn't working. So you just got to be very careful. I know it says base Uniswap here, but I actually had to go to Zora here. Let me just show you what this looks like. Okay, so this is Zora. Oh, so the market cap says 3.7 million. I guess what's it called is wrong. It says 3.7 here. Oh, that's cool. So basically you go to this Zora website, you create a wallet on here, you move your base Ethereum to Zora, and this is how you support this particular project. It's I don't know. It's kind of a new way of doing this. But it is from a team working with the base team. And so the speculation here is, people are going to buy this because they work with the base team. It's interesting. Let me just show you what Zora is though, because like this is kind of a trippy new trend in crypto. This thing was at 400 million earlier. I looked at this yesterday. This thing was at let me see here. This thing is down from its high on the 11th. This is down about 30%. So this was about 400 and something million. Let me just show you what this looks like. I wish they had a good explanation of like what Zora, is. You basically can like create a token out of thin air and it has a market cap. So you post an image or a video and people can like buy into that image or the video. It's super trippy. But I do see this as like a new trend starting. And sometimes when you find new trends, you can find, good returns. Launch your creator token and turn posting into earnings. So this is kind of a cool new way to make money in the Web3 space. This is why I bought the creative token, which I will share let me just go back here and share the right token for you if you're interested in this one. But like, just understand this creative token, like there's really nothing you could like compare it to at this point. So, it's hard to know which way it's going to go. But I did put $3,500 into it at 1 million. If it's at 3.7 million, I probably made $8,000 just in the last few days on that one particular play. And just to show you this really quickly, Creative Office. So this is something that was posted actually in general chat. Let me just show you this. Oh, shoot. That's not what I wanted. Creative. Okay, so I posted a bunch of research on this when I posted it. So here, check this out. So here is the original post about it. Where is it? Oh, this is Sensei updates. Hold on, let me just pull up in general. I mean, we're going back and forth in here about a bunch of different projects, but okay, here was it. So this is, I posted yesterday. Okay, so this was my post about the gains, right? So I posted this yesterday. We called it at 1 million. This went up over 200% less than 24 hours. So that was a nice gain. But just to kind of show you where it was originally posted, it was right here. Okay, so here it is. Here is the original posting on it. Original post right here. 1 million market cap. Boom. Right? So I posted 813. So this thing went up a few 100% in 2 days. So this was a nice little win for the community. Love to see that. Hey Sensei, what is your take on XPR? Oh, Proton. For a long time, people thought like that was a scam. Like I'll be quite frank with you. I still don't know one way or another. I haven't spent proper time like looking at it, but I do know there's a lot of people who are bullish about it. I know they have a community built around it. But I'm probably not the best person to ask about XPR. Like I remember like a few years ago, like I think either the same token ID, like XPR, was used like in multiple scams. And so like, something that just kind of feels uneasy right off the bit. But I know some people are bullish. What do you think, WH? You tell me, you probably know more about this than I do. Let's see here. It's buying and selling and creating NFTs without the high fees. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just learning about this stuff as I go, right? As I'm like researching my Ripple, my XRP, and my other crypto news, like I bump into all of these new technologies, and I'm in a few private groups on X that like there's some pretty big hitters in this group, and they're sharing a ton of stuff. Like they're sharing a ton of stuff. I got that creative play from this private group on X. There's maybe like 50 or 60 people in it. And, each one of those people has a decent following. So usually what happens, they post it in there and then they'll post it to their followers. And just so like if you get good timing on those, I'm able to like pull it out of there, post it in Cryptonaires for members, buy some myself and then, reap the benefits. So it's pretty cool, man. Some exchanges allow you to link your bank checking. Yeah. So like Chase, right, is one of those working with Coinbase. And it seems like Uphold has some ways too. Hey, Sensei, can you please provide your opinion on Axlar? I mean, it seems like it's going to be a vital piece of the puzzle going forward. What is it going to do in this bull cycle? It's hard to know, right? Like, if you're just buying it to hold indefinitely, obviously you can buy it and just DCA when it goes lower, but I haven't looked at like the chart or anything about Axlar to really give you, excuse me. Hold on. So, I mean, if you think this is important, right here, let me just bring this up again. Axlar is a decentralized network and development platform securing, connecting the world's blockchains and financial institutions. I mean, it is going to be a very important piece for Ripple and XRP moving forward, right? And so if you want to support the XRP ecosystem, that is a way to do it. I don't have a big position of it. There's so many other things that like they get put in front of me, but I know there's a lot of people that are very bullish long-term on it. Right. I should probably buy some. There's been so many other things that have been just, it's impossible. Like I probably get sent 10 new projects a day. And so it's very difficult to kind of keep up with all of that. And then, other stuff, but I am very bullish on RC. Lizard King. What's up, man? Let's see here. Twinja. I like that. Cool. What's up, man? Hey, Sensei, any truth regarding token burn? Seeing something on 40 billion. Are we talking about XRP, dude? Are we talking about XRP? I just need to know what we're talking about. Love to answer your question. I just needed to know, like, I just don't want to start rambling off about something that you're not interested in. So just verify yes. Okay. There's only been like 13 million. You can actually look this up. Let me just show you this real quick. How much in total has been burned XRP wise to date? How long would it take to burn through 50% of the supply if mass adoption happens tomorrow? All right. This is always interesting to get these responses here. Let me just show you this real quick. So we're talking about the burn rate on the XRP ledger and how much has been burned to date. So just to give you an example here, the XRP ledger has been live for over 13 years. And so far, we've only burned 14 million tokens, which is minuscule. Okay. This is only 0.14% of the total supply burned in 13 years. Okay. Listen to this. The burn rate fluctuates in transaction volume. Recent blockchain data and analytics estimate the periods of surging activity somewhere between 3,000 and 8,000 XRP are burned each day. During the biggest spikes, annual burn rates approach 7.35 million XRP per year. So if we really start to get this and really start to go, mainstream mass adoption here, you probably would only be burning about 7 million XRP per year. To burn through 50 billion XRP, it would take 6,802 years, right? This is at mass adoption. So unless you have like a cryo chamber that you can just go to sleep for 6,000 years, and hopefully we're all still here, we haven't blown each other up, the burn rate really isn't going to impact us at all, right? Nothing that I've seen is making me believe that burn rate is going to play a big factor in XRP's price rise. But some like, even if, let's see, man, let's see. Let's just say if the XRP ledger was used for every payment in the world, how much worth of XRP would be burned? I'm just interested to see, like, if we had just complete obliteration adoption of the XRP ledger, which we know will never happen. You're never going to get everything. If the XRP ledger, if the entire world's payment volume was processed through the XRP ledger, you would burn 34 million XRP per year. I hope that helps you. I mean, if you had it in your mind that the burn rate would come into play and it would help us, you probably didn't want that information, but at least you understand now, and you know it, right? And hopefully that helps, man. I really do. I don't own any Pi, man. Sorry, I'm not the best person to ask about Pi. Do apologize. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but there's so many tokens, and there's just not enough time. I did. Casper, I owned Casper for a while, and like, it was depressing. You're talking about Casper, not Caspa, right? I thought that having, being able to update a blockchain, right? The reason I thought that was going to be very important going forward, right? Because let's say you're a company and you're developing like an app or software or something like that, right? And your technology stack, right? If you have to rebuild that every few years, that can be very costly and expensive. But if you can update it as you go, there's a huge use case there. And so I don't know what it is about Casper and their marketing and just the way that they handle themselves. It's not the best. And I think, like, I got frustrated holding it and nothing was happening. Let's take a look and see if anything's been happening recently. But excuse me, I forgot an S. Casper. Yeah, see, this is at a penny. This is a depressing chart. Like, if you were on blood pressure medicine, do not look at this chart. All right. I mean, this is terrible. This is terrible. You've gone a full year and you actually have lost 17% value in a full year. Oh, excuse me. There you go. That isn't good. That isn't good. Okay. So, something is wrong here, right? Something is wrong. Whether it's the team, the technology, the community, all of it, I don't know. But it's not good. It's not good. Now, does it mean Casper can't turn around and can't pump in the remaining bull market? Absolutely. They can do all of those things, but whatever they're doing right now is obviously having a negative impact on the token. So they would need to change a whole lot for me to get reinterested in Casper. All right. Oh man, I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it. It's Florida native son. Sorry if you had answered this, but the influx of vert assets today, why did the price push higher? Yeah, so like, it appears, I'm still kind of, somebody in the chat said that the numbers were wrong, right? And so like there was a lot of accounts like Kevin Cage. Kevin Cage is not the one to like post fluff or BS. And so like I saw his post this morning, and then I went to realworldassets.xyz and I saw the number there. Like I physically checked it myself and I saw it. It said Vert like 900 something $million in tokenized real world assets. And I was like, oh shit. Like I even made a video about this earlier, right? I think people even have like I have to go back and change the video now, obviously that the information is not accurate, but like I did everything I could to verify it. Hold on, let me see if I can find that window, because I have the research on that too. I can show you. I just have too many windows open, dude. Okay, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. What about this one? Nope. Nope. Wait. Nope. Oh, hold on. I'll get there sooner or later. Okay, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Okay. Yeah, see, like here's the photo. Here's the photo from earlier. I gotta load all these windows. Hold on. I gotta load all of these windows. I'm gonna go over everything with you guys. All right, just give me a second here. I probably should have had this loaded in. I do apologize, but just been a crazy few days for me. Man, this was such a good video too. Fudge muffins. Anyways, let me just show you this first. I worked on this video for so long earlier today too. That's frustrating. So frustrating. Okay, so here was the post that I saw when I first got up this morning. Okay. Vert Capital just tokenized $1 billion in value on the XRP ledger and using XDC. And so here is the picture. And like I'm telling you, I physically went, because I was talking with my editor Cass this morning, and he had brought this up to me too. And we both went and looked, and it was the number. And by the time I had like recorded the video, the number had updated. I was like, that's strange. Like, where is the information? And it was gone. And so, I think a lot of people are going to need to walk back that information. But now it's updated 171 million. So kind of crazy, man. And then Florida, never apologize. You're good. If you need to ask a question, if it's something that we've asked and answered, usually I'll like direct you where I've answered it, or I'll try to answer it really quickly again for you. So just feel free to shoot from the hip. All right. I appreciate you being courteous. Love that. We need more of that in the world, but feel free to just ask anytime. Twinja, you're good. I love that. I'm glad we got your question answered. That makes my heart happy. Game of Cats, you make me happy. What's up, Game of Cats? What's up, homies? What's up? Thoughts on Wormhole? I think Wormhole is another vital piece, right? I mean, the XRP ledger, like, isn't that Wormhole's how you kind of connect Solana to the XRP ledger? That's a big deal, right? You often hear people kind of dissing the XRP ledger to put Solana in like that third position, right? They saying that it should be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. And so, being able to have cross-chain compatibility is very important. And I think people are underestimating how important like Wormhole, Axelar, ArcX, these types of things can be to the ecosystem. And so should be pretty good. Is Black Dog a scam? Blockdag. Freaking sounds familiar, brother. Sounds familiar. Blockdag. Ooh. I want to say probably is. Let me just look here. Oh shit. Is this what you're looking at? Is this what you're looking at, dude? Ooh. Let's take a look here, bro. I got you. We're going to look at this together here. I think this is it, right? David Johnson. Is this what you're asking about, David? I just want to make sure I'm answering your question properly, David. Let's see here. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Let me show you this, dude. And guys, you know what? Like, this is also something that I hope you're learning along the way here, right? crypto projects, especially scammers, are very good at what they do. They have perfected their scams throughout the years. Okay. And one of the things that you can use that's not very expensive to fight back against this, to just do a very quick check, is AI, right? Like, I personally like Perplexity. Some people like ChatGPT. Some people like Grok. Whatever it is you feel comfortable with, start using it, right? And like within, I said, is BlockDAG a scam? And I gave the website, right? Here you go, man. There's some serious, incredible reports of scam activity related to BlockDAG network presale. And then it gives you all of the red flags. Like, this should be a vital piece of your research, going forward. And you're not always going to get everything right. And there's going to be things that elude you. It's the crypto space, but yeah, BlockDAG is a scam. The reason I remember the name, and I've looked into this before, so I kind of knew off the top of my head it was a scam. I hope you didn't lose too much money, man. I hope you didn't give them anything. Dude, I know. I got to catch up on it, man. I got to catch up on it. I hope all this stuff can end, man. Like, it's rough, bro. It's rough. That's like when I'm not like researching crypto, I do spend a lot of time understanding, that conflict. And like, I'm watching the China and Taiwan conflict because that's going to pop off in the next few years. And there's stuff happening everywhere at this point. So anyways, what's up? The Tinker. Absolutely. I don't know what you're thinking before, but I hope it was good. CEO of Coinbase was talking about it. Okay. All right. Some Spark. Free Xanax deliveries on Sundays. Oh, snap. What are your thoughts on an LLC to avoid paying taxes? Do you have an LLC? You can only get away with so much. The proper person to probably ask that question to is Jake Claver. That's like his business model, is to help people set up companies to pay less taxes. So like, that man probably has way more knowledge and information, and very, very trustworthy individual. So I would go ask him maybe that same question. He might try to sell you on his stuff, but that's what he does. So and a bunch of other things too. But it is costly, but asking him a question probably couldn't hurt, and he could probably tell you. I thought I saw like a short on this on his X account. If you're not familiar, let me just show you this guy. I mean, if you've watched my content recently, you know who Jake Claver is. But here you go.
Of an LLC in Wyoming.
Oh, let me just make sure I'm sharing the right thing here. Here, hopefully this will answer your question
For you. So one, there are 5 states that provide attorney-client privilege. Wyoming is one of those. So when you file it with us or with another attorney, it doesn't have to be with us. Their name and address for the registered agent is what should appear on the filing. If your attorney doesn't know what he's doing, if you do LegalZoom, it's not going to do you any good. You need to work with an attorney to get this benefit. So attorney-client privilege, so that your personal information isn't out there in a public forum to be able for people to associate you with the LLC. So anonymity, privacy, big deal. On a continuing basis, when you're filing it, you also want to still work with an attorney or a team, because if you do the annual filing, your name's going to end up on the paperwork, and then it attaches you to the LLC, pierces the corporate veil. And in addition to that, again, you lose that privacy benefit. 2 is no state tax there in Wyoming. So depending on what state you're in, if you're in California, that doesn't matter. Cali's going to get theirs. New York's going to get theirs. There are certain states, Washington's probably another one, like they're going to get their money. But some states, they're not quite as picky about that. And so you might be able to mitigate some state taxes with the Wyoming LLC. In addition to that, the regulations around digital assets there in Wyoming is much more favorable than any other jurisdiction. In addition to all of that, you also get charging order protection there in Wyoming. So let's say, God forbid, you were in somebody. Things happen. You're texting on your phone, your mom called you, something's happening, you go into the back of somebody driving down the road. You're okay, but they're hurt. They sue you. If you have the corporate veil done correctly, if you've got your meeting minutes, you've issued the equity, you've done your board resolutions, all the stuff that our paralegals help people do for the corporate veil service, it will stand up in a court of law, and they won't be able to come after the assets in the LLC.
There you go, man. I hope that helps you better understand. You definitely need to talk with an expert about this, somebody that has, experience. So I hope that helps you, man. Mike says he's from Cape Town. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you being here. Always nice to see the adoption, my man. Cold wallet recommendations. Hello, Pratesh or Patel. So the three wallets I hear people mentioning the most are Ledger, Treasure, and Decent. Those are the three wallets. As far as which wallet to choose from, that's whatever your choice is, like what you prefer. I do recommend, if you are going to get a cold wallet, do the proper research and never buy it from like an Amazon or some place that can, some random person can list whatever they want and sell it to you. You want to buy it directly from Ledger. Okay. Like I wouldn't even trust like Best Buy or any of these things, right? Because you still have that human factor that's involved there, right? Somebody shady, not making enough money, decides to open up a ledger, writing down the seed phrase, repackaging it and selling it to somebody and hoping that they put crypto on it. Like you just got to be careful. Like I've heard that's how people can get scammed. So just be careful. Mofer, not really feeling good or bad towards it. I know a lot of people are bullish about it. And I know some people have some questions that are hard to answer. So, I'm just not involved with ZBIC right now. Right. But I know a lot of people like it. 50x for Flare. I think like you're talking about Flare going to 100 billion market cap. The XRP ledger is at like 180 billion. So Flare going to 100 billion is over half the market cap right now for XRP ledger. Is it possible in this cycle? I don't have a crystal ball. I would imagine that like 15, 20 cents, probably very manageable. 100 billion might be a tall order, but there's a lot of money heading to the crypto space right now. There's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines. If rates drop and money's easier to access, that could play a vital role in pushing some of these things up. D Dice, what's up, man? Great to see you. Greetings from Tasmania, Australia. Man, Australia sounds so beautiful. I just want to go. I'm watching this new show. I watched it all, right? So like when I'm working, sometimes I have to have something on the background. I don't know what it is. I'm sure some of you, can relate to that. But I've been watching this show, Mr. In Between. It's about like this Australian hitman who's kind of like in between jobs. And oh man, that show is just so entertaining. But I was like, man, they're showing all of these places in Australia. And I was like, man, these are some, really pretty country and open spaces. It reminds me of some parts of the United States that are like that, Anyways, I hope you're well, man. Raz, what's up, dude? Can't hang around long today. All good, man. Thank you for just coming and saying hi. That means the world, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, you got to watch out for scammers anywhere. YouTube, Twitter, X, part of me thinks that they don't want to solve the problem, right? Like YouTube doesn't want to solve spam, bot tweets. If they did, it's been a problem for years, right? And it's been a bigger problem since my channel has, blown up in size as far as people watching. And I can tell you that every day is a fight. Every day is a fight. And it takes a lot out of you, man, to do it. But they without that, you're talking about hundreds of millions of comments per month that are, fake. Without all of that fluffy data, they won't be selling as much to marketers and things like that. So I think it's, you're in this circle of craziness. Robert, do you have any thoughts on best wallet and token presale? Token presale, the wallet shouldn't have anything to do with token presale, but if you're usually you need something like a MetaMask or like a Phantom or something like that. I prefer MetaMask. I've been using MetaMask since I got into crypto, and seems to be really well, man. Did it go well? I haven't been able to look. Did it go well? I'm worried about it. Scott, that's some really good information. Jake's LLC is 2000, and it sounds like, every year you might have to pay to re-up it and redo things, right? And so there's probably those costs. But if that's something reasonable, definitely reach out to Jake, and he'll get you handled, man. Yeah, see, like some people like Tangem. I've heard a lot of people say Tangem's good. I've never used it, so I can't really tell you from experience, but I do see a lot of people talking about it. Did he? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Let's take a look, man. Has there been any information on Ledger, Treasure, or Decent wallets being hacked? Let's see here. So there was in Ledger, there's a supply chain attack. Ledger Connect Kit used the D apps, was compromised after a phishing attack on a former Ledger employee. Hackers published a malicious version that routed funds to their wallet, causing losses of about 484,000. But it doesn't sound like this was like somebody was able to get their seed phrase. It sounds like they did a phishing attack, which is a little different. There was an example here of a user hack. It says in 2024, there's been at least one reported case of an individual Ledger wallet being hacked, resulting in a loss of 25,000 in ETH. Details of this user's wallet transferred out, but it's unclear if it was due to direct wallet vulnerability or phishing social engineering incident. Treasure's website content was abused by hackers, send phishing emails. God, who hates these freaking emails, man? Treasure users have historically been targeted in phishing campaigns, including those lost leveraging from data leaks and third-party systems. Decent firmware update incident, March to April of this year. At least one user reported having XRP stolen following firmware updates prompted by the Decent app. Ooh, that's tough, man. See, it's like you get these far and few between reports. It's not really, you can't really say this is a real hack, right? This is what happened. It's like, hey, $25,000 for my wallet's gone. I never gave my seed phrase to anybody. Somebody must have hacked it, right? Like, if they had the ability to hack a Ledger or a Treasure or a Decent, they wouldn't target my man with $25,000 in ETH. They would target somebody that had hundreds of millions of dollars, right? So I would need to see more data to be convinced of that. I would need to see a lot more data. Love your Tangem. Realistic price move. Seriously, can we get a realistically expect a price move for XRP? Like when? There's a few things that are kind of brewing, behind the scenes that we're waiting for like updates on. One of those things obviously is ETF approvals, right? Like that is going to be a big thing. I think, the end of the Ripple case was a lot of that was priced in, obviously, right? And I think some people, maybe it was like a sell the news event, right? And some people believe since the US government's not going to be buying Bitcoin and propping up the market's coming to a close. Personally, I think that if the ETF approvals happen in October and you can get $2 to $5 billion in inflows in the first, 4 to 6 weeks, you could see, a $20, $30 price target for XRP. Like, are we talking hundreds or thousands of dollars in the next 5 months? I don't see that. I don't see that. But I don't see everything. I know there's some people that believe XRP could be $750 or $1,000 or $2,000 in the next 6 months. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not on that wavelength. I'm not like on that side. I think that's kind of crazy. Hard to know. ETFs are going to make a big deal. Obviously, information on real world asset tokenization. If there was a new news about a CBDC being developed using Ripple's technology, that would be important. But we're just now starting to tokenize stocks and bonds and derivatives and these types of things. We're still very far away from real utility shining. Like it's happening in the background, but it's happening very slowly. You don't even have regulation yet in the US, right? Like that could play a vital role. I know in September they plan on getting back, from their, vacation or whatever. And the Clarity Act that could provide some additional boost to the crypto market. Lowering rates that could also boost people borrowing money to put it into, crypto market and other speculative assets. But, I think asking for a few $100s in XRP price, I think it's unreasonable over the next few months. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but that's what I think. So, often you come here for, my blunt honesty and truth, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, like listen, you're at $3 now, right? You're at 180 billion market cap. Let's just call it 200 billion for the sake of easy math, okay? 200 billion is close to like 350. So you are getting like fresh inflows to buying XRP. That is coming with a multiplier, right? We've shown all of that math. I've gone over this 100 times, right? I've done the research. I've shown you the research. I've shown you, inflows to market cap changes and how those can often be, 500x, insane amounts of change. So realistically, if you get $2 billion, $5 billion, and there's a 200 or 300x multiplier on that money, you could be into the trillions in market cap really quickly for XRP. Now, you will get to a point where it's not 500x or 100x. It's going to go down to 50x or 25x or 10x. Like that's just as liquidity comes on chain, that's what's going to happen. But like that initial push up and boost up, it's going to come pretty quick. There's also like something that I don't think a lot of people talk about is the lack of supply for XRP. Now, a lot of people look at, 100 billion units. There's, like I could sit on this forever. I don't need to buy it right now. Like there's going to be XRP, down the road. I'm working on a video now that's actually looking at data around how much XRP is actually on exchanges. I can bring that data up if you're interested. I can show you. But roughly anywhere from like 7 to 8% of the circulating supply is what's left on exchanges. It's not very much. Circulating supply is about 59 billion. And so you're talking about, 7-8% of 59 billion. You're talking about maybe 3 to 5 billion XRP left on exchanges. Like if you woke up and there was suddenly a big demand for XRP, you would blow through some order books there's not as much XRP on exchanges as people think. Right. And often the XRP holder wants to hold because they think that this is going to have value at a later time. Like, not just 100% return or 200% return. I believe that in the future here, this is going to be one of the main networks that a lot of value is going to flow on. Right. And the reason I believe that is all of the research, the 1,300 videos I've made on the subject. I think people underestimate how much money is coming on chain. And I think it'll happen quickly once we get all of our stuff figured out. Some of the stuff that needs to be figured out is like jurisdiction. When you sell something to somebody on chain, how do you record that? Right. How is that updated in the legacy systems as well as on chain? That's a lot of what's been holding back. Regulation in other countries also, has been holding some of this back. But I think the majority of it, you'll see a lot of adoption here over the next few years. And I think that's going to have a big impact. Yeah. James says he'd love $10 by the end of the year. I think it's very well possible, man. I mean, I would love to get up here and make a video and say, wow, Jake Claver was right. I was wrong. I would love to make that video. Shit. I would pay somebody like $50,000 to make that video just because, right? Because at that point I wouldn't care. But you never know, man. I saw somebody like in one of the, like, I was going through one of Jake's new quotes for XRP, and I guess by early 2025 or early 2026, the new price target could be 1,500 to 2,000. And like we keep adding money onto this thing, right? Like end of the year 750, but like by the first of the year it's going to be 1,500 or 2,000. I just, like, if you look at the actual data on those numbers, it's freaking insane. Like you're talking about, $100 trillion market cap for XRP, 100 trillion. And, it never been done before. So like this would be a precedent, right? Precedent. So it's tough for me to get on board. Yeah. I mean, I think this is very possible, but like, you got to understand, we can't even agree right now if XRP is worth $3, right? But somehow this is going to become $500 or $1,000 in the next 4 months, 5 months. I've heard this stuff before. I feel like I've been here before. We have a lot of things going for us that we didn't have before. Like the case is over. Like that is we have regulation, right? 401ks, IRAs being able to be invested in crypto. Like those are all big positive changes, but those changes won't have an impact just yet. Oh, I know 3 to 5 billion is nothing. We were just talking about the first few weeks, right? But if we're talking about years, obviously, what was like Bitcoin ETF has what 150 billion. So, it's not crazy to think XRP could have 10 billion, 25 billion, 50 billion in the first few years. It's not crazy. But you would need a lot more demand because most of the people that believe in XRP just buy it off the open market. They buy it spot, right? You would really need like a institutional shift. XRP is in Russia. Putin announced that the BRICS summit at the beginning of the year, they have tested the XRP ledger. The Russian central bank tested it. I think it was it 2018 or 2019? I can't remember the exact date, but they've tested it. But I haven't heard any information about Russia and BRICS specifically. Oh, brother, thank you, man. Treats for Luna. Is Luna okay? Yeah, of course. Here, let me grab her. Come here, sweet pea. Oh, come here. I need you. Come here. You okay? Here we go. We're here. We were sleeping. You gonna say hi? You gonna say hi to everybody? Yes, you okay? I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Original. Thank you. Luna appreciates you. Right? You gonna say thank you? She's trying to wake up here. Luna is very cute. She's a Yorkie, right? You Yorkie? Are you listening? We're just chilling. Really? I'll have to take a look at that. Putin's speech. He literally talked about digital currency and BRICS currency running on the XRP ledger. Do you have any information about Russia? Let's take a look here. Russia is launching its own digital ruble to improve cross-border payments. Western sanctions, mandatory implementation. Banks starting in July 2025. Where are you going? Focus on centralized control, restricting retail. There is no official indication that Russia's digital ruble is built on the XRP ledger. Russia is like other BRICS nations, looking for alternatives around SWIFT and the US dollar. I mean, you do have a lot of connections to BRICS, but I haven't seen like, if you have like access to a video like that, can you send it to me on X and I'll take a look at it, please? Oh, Jezapar's here. Great to see you. Okay, you want to go back to sleep? You trying to get comfortable? Here, okay. We're gonna go out after, okay? All right. Go lay down. Oh, let me open the door. You need to go potty? All right. No, we're not leaving yet. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Luna really appreciates it. Thank you. I don't. I've heard people talk about it, but I don't have any direct experience with them. One of the things that somebody mentioned was their fees are a little high. But there are people that talk positively about them. I haven't seen any like negative press about them, but it doesn't mean that there isn't. But sorry, I wish I could help more. Can Ripple can they burn the coins locked in escrow? No. Well, I mean, after it's unlocked, they might be able to, but I don't think they can actually burn the escrow. If they can, that's news to me. But like, why would they? Right? Would you burn $140 billion? I wouldn't. You couldn't catch me burning 140 billion. I'd be saying, yeah, I'm gonna go burn it, but like in the background, I'm switching out the bags, man. I ain't burning that 140 billion. News is okay. We had some like excitement earlier with some information about XRPL tokenization reaching 1 billion, but we think it looks to be a misclick. Did you see my stellar message above? I didn't, Tails. Sorry. There's a lot of messages, and sometimes I go through it really quickly. Burning $140 billion is not about the money, but the message. Yeah, you're just not going to burn. Like, what would it say if Ripple decided to do that, right? Like, what business sense would that have, right? Like, they just spent a lot of money buying XRP back off the open market for on-demand liquidity. They believe in the asset. They're not going to burn it. Yeah, Tails, I'll try to answer it if you can repost it. I apologize. Sometimes there's like a lot of stuff, and I just can't read everything. Hold on, let me check something. Ooh, brutal. Let me see. Oh, close. I'm trying to I set some new goals for my channel and we're close to reaching them. So I was just checking that really quickly. Oh, Lola G, what's up? What's up? Yeah, so like, I was just researching this actually, right? Because like I've seen people posting on X that, Ripple could either gift the escrow to the US government, or what would happen if the US government decided to confiscate the XRP ledger. And very interesting, very interesting just to like dig into that and like what would it take, like what would need to happen in order for those things to happen. And a lot of attorneys have looked at this already, and the government probably couldn't do much because it's all pre-programmed smart contract. It's already, their escrow is already pre-programmed. Like they can't unlock it, right? It unlocks a certain amount every month, and if that XRP isn't like going somewhere or isn't, what's it called, it relocks the XRP. So that video will probably come out this weekend, maybe Sunday, if you're interested in learning about that. I did spend some time. I spent like a good hour and a half today looking at all that data. See here, Alexa says, what dreams of yours will come true if XRP hits big? Let's speak this into existence. I don't even know. Like, it's one thing to like go out and pre-plan to spend money, right? But it's another thing to make it first and then worry about the problems. So like, of course, I've wanted to, buy a nice car and a nice house on the beach or something like that. But like, I haven't spent any time looking into that stuff. I don't know. I want to have it before I go do it, because something tells me like I'll be looking at like a new Ferrari and it's like, what's the lease payment on that? How much money do I need down? Okay. I'm like trying to, put myself into a car that probably I shouldn't have right now. So like I've been trying to, anyways, what are you looking forward to? I mean, I would love to go, I would miss my dog, but like I would love to go on like, 3-week long cruise, just everything full tilt, or maybe go, like, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Australia. There's some places that I want to visit. So I would spend some time probably doing those things. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know how to be, I wouldn't know what to do with $100 million or $200 million. I'm sure I could figure some stuff out, but I'd like to get there first. All right, Tails, I got your question. Stellar is being adopted by Europe. Ursula von der Leyen, I think it mentioned Stellar in 2 different talks in the World Economic Forum. Yeah, so Stellar is one of those assets that is quite mentioned, handling mass amounts of retail payments. So yeah, I'm very bullish on Stellar. I own some, not as much as I own XRP, but I own some. James says, I'm looking forward to my own projects. Says F work. I think a lot of us can get on board with that, James. Like as you know, I have a strong personality, and sometimes, you either love me or you hate me. And, like sometimes I can, be a very, very opinionated about certain people. And, I don't know, so it's nice that my current, I get to wake up every day, spend time with my dog, and like that's the highlight every day, being able to do that. And that's it for me. Like if I can just wake up every day, spend time with Luna and make content that I'm interested in, that I'm already doing, and putting that out, and people find value from that, that's really big for me. I haven't been, my body has always kind of, tricked me, and I've always dealt with surgeries or pain. It's been a brutal 40 years of life. And it's very difficult for me to like stand up for a long period of time or walk far distances. Like if I have to walk over like a mile, like my lower half will just start really aching, and then I won't be able to do much. And so, like when I was a real estate agent, like there was a lot of hills and steps and all of these things, and it was very taxing on my body. And I'm just trying to imagine, 5 years later, what that would be like today. And so very difficult. But I hear you, man. Being able to work on your own projects and being able to maybe tell your boss to, you know, shove it, I think is what a lot of people are looking forward to. Maybe you like your boss, maybe you don't, but I'm sure a lot of people would like to just do like an office. What was it, like Office Space? He's like, it was like F you. Or no, that's not Office Space. That is what part of Jamaica? Right near the beach. What movie is that? Is that How High? I can't remember the movie. But he's like, you know, he's working at like the sandwich place. Is like F you, F you, F you. You're cool. I'm out. I can't. It was a Dave Chappelle movie. I can't remember what it was though. Really might take off better than Stellar. I think there's a lot of good choices out there, man. It's hard. Hey Sensei, what is the most misunderstood aspect of XRP that you wish people recognized? I mean, I think the information is always evolving, and I think a lot of people get sucked into, you know, very high prices, and people don't realize how long like this stuff is actually going to take, and what is it really going to take for all of this to happen. And I think like every day I see people, you know, like we had a question earlier about the burn rate for XRP, and I see people all the time saying that the burn rate is going to play a vital role in price appreciation for XRP. And like when you look at the data, right, it's not true, right? It's like totally different. I think there's just a lot of misconceptions about crypto in general and the technology, and people misunderstand like what it's designed to do and how it's designed to help. And that's kind of the reason why I make the content that I do, is because like I'm interested in these subjects, right? And like, you know, if I find this interesting and I can uncover, you know, all of these little bit of details about any specific thing, anybody can do it, right? Like, you know, I'm not special in any way, shape, or form. I just have been able to perfect how I'm able to look at things in the crypto space. I'm able to kind of, you know, transpose that into videos and make content. But yeah, I think I wish more people understood what they actually hold. I think that's also something that people struggle to understand. Like, what does this stuff actually do? Why is it important? But you know, it'll happen with time. It'll happen with time. Thank you for your question, Nelson. I appreciate you. Thank you. I wish I could bottle up my energy. I usually have to record stuff in the morning times though, because like towards the afternoon, you know, if you're on a computer for 10 hours, 12-hour days, I'm sure you understand, right? You get exhausted, you get tired, your eyes start to hurt. And like usually towards the afternoons, you know, I want to walk Luna, I want to come home, I want to make dinner, and then I want to go and watch one of my shows, one of my programs. And like, that's all I want to do, man. Wife might be jealous of that comment. Wake up and spend time with Luna. She knows, bro. She knows. You know what's funny? Like we were talking about this. Like, oh god. So this is funny. And you know, don't tell her I said this. She had a procedure a few months ago, and she does not handle the you know, the stuff they put you to sleep. She does not handle that well. And so I pick her up, right? And I get her in the car. And like, you know, she's having trouble just like I'm holding her, you know, still as I'm taking turns, you know, because like she's flying around the car. And then like she starts to, you know, talk about Luna for some reason. And then she mentions that like, you know, Luna is number one, you know, and like, listen, if our building caught fire and Thaisa had to save either Luna or me, she probably would save Luna. But she knows, man. She knows, dude. She knows. There's a dog-friendly cruise in the US schedule for November 2025. I'm gonna have to look into that, Fred. Thank you, man. So the like I think you're talking about the tweet of Trump talking about like the next evolution of like financial systems, right? Like American innovation. I think maybe that's what you're talking about. It was a video. Like the video was real, but I don't know about a tweet cryptic about XRP. I honestly don't think Trump knows what the hell XRP is. I don't think he does, but I think his advisors do. Right? I don't think he can tell you what the difference between Bitcoin, Ethereum, or XRP is. But like, he's got a lot of other shit to worry about, right? So I don't know. I want to believe that the U.S. understands that they need to, be a player in this next evolution of finance, and I think the U.S. understands that it's not going to be Bitcoin, it's not going to be Ethereum. So we like, what are you left over with? You're left over with like Chainlink, you're left over with XRP, you're left over with Stellar. When you're talking about institutional demand, it's Chainlink and it's XRP. There's also, HBAR could be in that conversation too, but I think, a lot of more people understand, XRP more. But I'd say XRP and Chainlink are probably the two brought up the most in these discussions. But what we would give to be a fly on the wall. Yeah, I mean, this is also something that I hope a lot of things, a lot of people do is set up charitable trusts and organizations. And I know, like, I've talked about this with my dad. He would like, if XRP hit $1,000 tomorrow, he would set up being able to build schools on the border between the US and Mexico. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but this was something that he was talking about years ago that was, something that inspired him and his wife. And so I know that there's, a lot of good that can be done with all of this crypto money. And I hope a lot of good is done with the crypto money. Half Baked. That's the movie, bro. Tommy, appreciate you, man. Yes. All right. So everybody knows the movie. Okay. Like, I need to catch up on these chats. Holy crap. What about Lord Belgrave? The lawsuit is over, David. I don't know if the judge is like met yet. Let me see. I haven't been. There's been so many like fake updates and this and that. Has the judge dismissed the Ripple? And I think the judge has to do it, right? Yes, the Ripple SEC has been officially dismissed at the appellate level. August 7th. No further appeals or judge sign off is required. Ripple is to pay the $125 million. The appellate dismissal doesn't alter the original ruling or fines imposed, retail sales, blah, blah, blah. So the multi-year lawsuit is officially resolved. Done. I thought there was maybe like one other thing that had to be done, but it looks like everything's done. Exit strategies, have them. Everyone's going to be different, Alexa. I'd imagine, having a conversation with a financial advisor that understands crypto, probably, a smart investment on anybody's part. I would say do that. Somebody that can give you clear rules of the road on what to do, where to put the money, do all that stuff. Like, you need somebody that has extensive experience in all of that. Talking about all these institutions. Let's see here. Your channel really inspires me. I cannot wait to be a part of the next financial revolution. Bears are on you when XRP hits 2000. Oh, bears on you when XRP hits 2000. I will buy the bar. All right. I will buy the whole bar. You can drink anytime you want to infinity. Sham crypto community is swamped by crackpots. Who are we talking about, Jason? Who are we talking about? You think he knows? I don't think so. It's hard for me to, what's it called? Marlon Wells, thank you for what you do. I've been watching you almost every day since my nephew told me about XRP in May. I definitely hope XRP is a ticket to my visit to Hawaii. And the first time I've been in US Virgin Islands twice and loved it. Marlon, thank you so much for the donation. That's very kind of you. And thank you for spending this time with me. Like that is the trust me, like I don't think people realize, like, sometimes I'm sitting at home and, you know, I'm reading people's comments about, you know, them watching every video, or, you know, just it's so moving, and it touches my heart. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this time with me. And I don't take that lightly. I hope you're learning. I hope you're growing. I hope you're having fun. And I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. XMR, Adam, any good? You know, a lot of people don't talk, especially like in these neck of the woods. I think you're the first person to bring up Adam in like months. So not saying that it's not good. I just, you know, we're not actively discussing it in these halls, you know, so probably not the best people to ask. There might be some people in the chat that has some information on that. I wish I could help you, Rinsler. Hawaii is beautiful. Hawaii is beautiful, you know, and it gets hot. Like the other day, it was like 8 a.m. I'm taking Thaisa to work and it's 80 degrees outside already, you know? And so like the weather's beautiful. The people are beautiful. The food is just, man, the food is so good. Like if you like fresh fish, man, there's just so many like poke places or places that are cooking, you know, different kinds of like ahi and, you know, all these different fishes. There's some like acai bowls are really popular here, right? You know, and so sometimes on the weekends, Tice and I will wake up and we'll go. There's like Alamona Park. There's where there's a bunch of like where all the boats are. Like people go and like rent a boat to like go parasailing or do all these things. But there's like these like food trucks that are always parked in this one area. And there's this Brazilian food truck there that has Brazilian acai, and it's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. Now I want an acai bowl. Shit. It's really good. If anybody ever makes it out here, let me know, all right? Trump knows the name, but do you think Trump understands the technology? I don't know. I don't know. Because like, listen, my thought process, and maybe I'm wrong here, okay? If Trump really understood how important XRP was, why isn't the US buying it? Like, if he understood the importance of it and he understood what problems it solves at scale, why isn't the US actively buying it, right? And then we could say, well, they are, it's just a secret. Oh, okay. Well, like what money are they using to buy it, right? Because when you do stuff with, you know, executive, you know, president executive signature, executive order, you don't have taxpayer money to fund whatever it is that you're doing, right? So you can do a strategic reserve, right? You can do whatever it is, but you don't have any new money to buy assets. And like you just don't see any movement from the Trump administration to buy assets. So this is like, I hear what you're saying. I know there's the picture. I know they went to dinner, but like, I just don't see anything happening after that. Maybe I should have explained that better. Thank you for saying something. Is Robinhood okay to use, or I should use a different platform? So I know a lot of people feel comfortable with Robinhood, and you know, I don't know what their reputation is like, but I know like a lot of people use it. You know, I guess it's kind of personal preference. You know, in the crypto sphere, like Robinhood's been getting into crypto because their crypto business is up like 200 to 300% year over year, right? So they understand crypto is this, you know, next wave of innovation. They're building their own layer 2, I think, on Ethereum to like tokenize securities and things like that, right? They also bought Bitstamp, which is, basically XRP infrastructure. So Robinhood knows very well what's important here. I'd imagine that their platform is safe to use. I don't have any experience using Robinhood. I know, like in the crypto space, people often like Coinbase or Uphold or Kraken. Those are, Gemini. Those are names that I hear a lot in the crypto space. But do what you want. Eva Beach. I used to live in Eva Beach, man. Ocean Point. 808 State, of course. Beautiful people here. Dude, I'm killing myself, man. I'm so hungry right now. It's 2:19 in the afternoon. Yeah, all right, Twinja. Excited, man. See here, my buddy owns a poke shop in South Carolina and gets his tuna from Hawaii, where his family's from. That makes sense, man. I bet it's good. I bet it's good tuna. There's there's a really good place here. Let me bring this up here. Hold on. Nico's Honolulu. It's like Nico's 38. Yeah, here it is. Okay, here you go. This place is really good. Nico's Pier. This place. Oh my God, this place is so good. Oh my goodness. I might have to go tonight. They have, let me show you this. Dinner menu. Okay, my favorite thing on this menu, just to kind of, make this even worse for all of us here sitting here. Hold on. Salad soups from the land. This right here. This is my favorite item. Red wine braised short ribs. It comes with mashed potatoes and like carrots and green beans. Oh my God. But like, if you don't get it on the dinner menu, they actually make the same thing, or it tastes the same on the lunch menu. Let me see here. From the land. Hold on. Where's it at? Local favorites. Oh my God. Orange chicken too. Beef stew right here. This is actually, it's the same thing pretty much. But this is so good, man. Oh, if you come to Oahu, which is, where Honolulu is, right? Where a lot of people come. That is one of my favorite places to eat. Let's go. What do you think about AVAX? Xavier says, what do you think about AVAX? Isn't the use case similar to Chainlink? AVAX is, it's its own ecosystem and blockchain. I'm not up to date with all the newest, latest tech on AVAX. I don't spend a whole lot of time. So they might be, kind of entering the same kind of, space. Is AVAX in like the Oracle space? I didn't realize that they were getting into that space. But AVAX is where a lot of people want to build, gaming, crypto gaming. Very, very popular to build on AVAX chain. The hard thing with AVAX, right, is like crypto gaming is not really this cycle. That was really like the 2021 cycle. And yes, you're going to get some pumps, but like a lot of the money is going into AI and like AI agents. Like that is where a lot of people are focused on right now. And I think even what's his name did a video about, his AI plays recently. I can't remember the guy's name. He has a gun. He has a nice car. Alex Becker. He just made a video about some of his top AI plays and some of the things that he sees in the market. There's a lot of good value and information in that if you're interested. But I think both are important. I think Chainlink is a more vital piece of the puzzle. Chainlink is how you kind of verify data and update data across multiple blockchains at once. And I think Chainlink is, going to be $1,000 before you know it. That's what I personally think. Let's see. Oh man, beats a Hawaiian luau. Oh my God, dude, tell me about it. So On the 30th, on the 30th of August, we are having some friends and family, well, mostly friends. My mom and dad are not going to come, but we're having a party for 100,000, hitting 100,000 subscribers. And so I'm having the party catered by Nico's, and one of the things on their menu is a pig. It's like a few $100, but I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Let's see here. Original OSOK. I'm also a water boy, so Hawaii would be a good place for me to live. Absolutely. My wife loves Giovanni's. Loves. I mean, it's on the North Shore, right? So it's a little harder to get to, but like, oh man. Bubba Gumps? Is Bubba Gumps still a restaurant? Is it still a restaurant? Like there's some truth to that, Christopher. There's some truth. Like, listen, I think people I don't hate Trump. I just don't agree with some of the decisions that he made. Like, I didn't agree with a lot of stuff Biden did, but some of the stuff I just can't get on board with, all good. Like, we all have things that we believe in, things that we want to be a part of, and whatever. Right. But like, his sons are making a killing. Like, I showed this in a video the other day. Trump's net worth in 2025, he's made like $2 or $3 billion. His net worth has doubled in less than a year. And part of that has been his crypto ventures, right? A lot of that has been his crypto ventures. Some of it's like his personal businesses and things like that. But the man's making money. Went to Hawaii in 2009 for my honeymoon and loved it. I was really taken back by how much the USA have much respect for the military personnel. Absolutely. What's really, Brendan, just to talk about this, I think the military makes up like 10 or 20% of like everybody on the island, right? Either like direct military or military contractor. And so when I was in the car business here, like a lot of my customers would be, Air Force, Army, Navy, and you just got to meet all of these people from all over the US, like every state and small town, all these people are from, right? And they come and they share their stories about where they've been and what they've done, and like, you just are very inspired by the dedication and the love that these people have, and it's moving, it's really inspiring. And the coolest thing, like one of the coolest things, that our unit faces the ocean, and you always have jets taking off from the Air Force base out here. And it is so cool, man. Like that is like one of my dreams. I would drop anything to go up in like an F-35 or an F-22, like even an F-16. I wouldn't care. Like, I just want to go fast, like fast, even if it kills me, I would still do it. And like, that was always one of the things, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always was like, I want to be a fighter pilot. But then I found out that my body was, I had like these bone spurs, and like, I couldn't pass any kind of, like, they would never let me into military or police or anything like that because of my my genetic makeup in my bones. Coconut crusted mahi, man, you guys are making everybody hungry here. So we're gonna have to start sharing recipes here at the end of the chats. Christopher says, when I went to Hawaii, they made everyone sign a waiver before getting off the plane, promising not to mess with it. Yeah, well, I think like they want to know, like, are you bringing anything into the state? They still do that. Like, how many in your party? Where are you staying? Do you have any plants or bugs or anything like that? It's a very you know, it's a delicate ecosystem. And when you, you know, bring things that are not supposed to be here, it can have a really negative impact on, you know, everything. So it's got to be careful. Bro, Mahi's so good. Mahi's so good, man. 19 Chevy Bomb. Thank you, man. 1941. Your thoughts on Velo? Price prediction. Price prediction for Velo. Let's take a look here. I mean, Velo has a lot of stuff going on for it. They were just like, they had a lot of news about what, like the 7-Eleven chains, right? I mean, Velo was just at $3.67, $3, excuse me, 3.6 cents. Velo could go multi-billions here. You know, 2 to 5 billion market cap, possibly. I mean, it could be higher than that if you get a big run on it. But you know, most of these like mid-cap tokens, most of these mid-cap tokens are anywhere from like, you know, 5 to 10x, maybe 20x if you get lucky. Rick, your daughter lives here? I think you told me that, man. I think you told me that. And then thank you for your donation. 1941 Chevy Bomb. My first two trucks were Chevys, and taught me everything I needed to know about driving. And I put hundreds of thousands of miles on those trucks in just a few years because I didn't want to stop going somewhere. Brought back some good memories. Haliva Joe's on the Windward side is great. Yep, absolutely, man. Absolutely, I've been there. Kahlua Pig. Ooh, man, you guys are making me so hungry, bro. Native American. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, I'm feeling generous. Thank you for your inspiration. The XRP Army is a tough deployment law. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Original. Thank you. I'm going to be able to spend like almost 50 bucks, 60 bucks on Luna this weekend. She's having treats like starting to stack up. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. I just hope it all works out, man. I hope it all works out. I know, Shane. I get it. I get it. I got it. Thank you, Shane. Man, we mention the name and it's like, panic. Yeah, man, I would love to just, I don't know. I've always been fascinated with speed and, you know, going fast, you know, in Vegas, you know, you can go and you can drive a, you know, Ferrari or a McLaren or whatever on the track. And like, oh, I love that, man. Like, you know, I think we went around like 7 or 10 times. Oh, dude, I was passing everybody, man. I was passing everybody. My brother-in-law, he was with us and he was driving I think he was driving a Skyline. What is the newer name for a Skyline? Nissan GTR. He's driving a GTR. And I was like lapping him, dude. I was lapping him. But so fun, dude. So fun. Squid and chicken lua. Don't forget lua beef. Or is lao beef? Lula beef? And trife stew. Oh man, you're making me so hungry. Why did I talk about food? Yeah, I know. I this is not something like a career, but like I want to go once, you know. They have those suits that push blood up into your body, right? I don't know, man. How much do I gotta pay? Like that's like one thing that I would pay millions of dollars to do. Like, what, you know, XRP hits $1,000 or $2,000. Like I'm going to find somebody that has a jet. Could I please go? That would be fun, man. Yeah, Top Gun Sensei, man, that would be so fun, bro. Turk says, my goal from crypto is to buy a small house and semi-retire, get a dummy job that pays electric, gas, and food while continuing to invest. I think that's a lot of people are looking for, Turk. I mean, that's great goals, man. I know you're going to get there. You have the information, you have the talent, you have the skill. I believe in you, man. You're going to get there. Jake says he was in the Navy from 85 to 95. Jake, what'd you do in the Navy? Oh, dude, I can't talk about snakes, man. I'm not good with snakes. I'm not good with snakes. I'm not good with sharks. Can't do it. Can't do it. Like, can't do it. We were watching some like documentary series on Netflix, and like for some reason they had like a snake that appeared, and like, you know, I don't know what it was, but it freaked me out, man. Like we were watching it, and like I jump, and like I go, like I can't help it, you know. And so my wife often, like if she knows something's gonna happen on a movie that's gonna, like, you know, like I'll go like that. She'll stop watching the movie just to watch me and my reaction, and she gets a kick out of it. But like I freak out. Yeah, Jake, thank you for your service, man. I'd love to understand what you did for the Navy. That sounds really cool, man. You probably got to see a lot of really interesting places too. Luna deserves. I'm going to the Real People Spa tomorrow. I set up a massage. My wife and I are gonna go, and I don't want to do anything after, dude. Like I just want to go and get it done and come back and sit there and just like maybe watch a program or two, man. Yeah, man. I feel that. I feel that so much. So like, I think maybe like next week we're going to have to show up with recipes or something, you know, like people are going to have to bring some of their best recipes. Appreciate you, Christopher. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here, dude. Every time too, man. You're always here, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, James, you do like it was the one kind of outside, like as you're coming into Vegas, it's like off the side of the freeway. I think they used to be at like the racetrack, right, where they have EDC, and then they moved over there. But that's what I'm talking about. Jason says NASDAQ stated today that Ripple's acquisition of stablecoin platform Rail could hurt XRP's value, as stablecoins might replace XRP in Ripple's ODL service. What's your opinion? I think there's some truth to what you're saying here, but there's also, you know, like, listen, if the stablecoin is on, let's say, the XRP ledger, right, and you're doing those transactions, every one of those transactions is going to require XRP as the gas token. Okay. Stablecoins are going to be better for domestic payments. That there's no, trying to say, no, it won't. Absolutely. They're better for domestic payments. But when you go like cross border, that's where it can get a little bit more difficult. Also, when you're talking about the tokenization of financial assets, you're not tokenizing those on stable coins, right? So you need a network that all of this stuff can live on, to be built on. And stable coins are a vital artery and a piece of all of that happening. So is there some truth to that? Yeah. Is it probably like an opinion piece to try to kind of push people off XRP? Could be. But there's absolute truth to that, Jason. Absolute truth. I mean, like, I think that the adoption of RLUSD and other stable coins will be a vital part of the next financial system. But you also need, Ethereum, you need XRP, you need Stellar, and all these other chains. Because if you don't have them, I mean, you just have a stable coin. That's great. But why would you use a stable coin? Would you just use dollars at that point, right? Like, I don't know. The snakes were invasive during the 90s from Australia, man. Like, there's some pretty crazy snakes, man. So Sensei not watching snakes on a plane. Yeah, dude, I I unfortunately watched that. Like, it was not good. It was not good. I just not good with it, man. Yeah, she puts up with me. She puts up with me, you know. She puts up with me. Thank you. Jake says he was a sonar tech on the USS Stanley. Let me see what the USS Stanley is. Is it a submarine? Oh, it's a destroyer. Whoa. You probably been some pretty cool ports then, huh? What was your, you want to tell us what your favorite experience was, or maybe one of the favorite places that you visited, Jake? I'm definitely interested to hear. Shane says my F-150 in Central California sleeper, it spits pavement in windshields that dare growl. All right, man. Dude, Top Gun, man. That was a good movie. The second one was really good, right? Usually the second one is not as good unless it's like John Wick, right? Because that was just man, I could watch John Wick movies forever. But yeah, the latest Top Gun movie, like I've watched that like 3 or 4 times. That's a really good movie, dude. Would I let Jake power slap me for 10,000 XRP? Are we talking about Jake Claver? 10,000 XRP to slap me? He can afford it. Maybe, you know, I would do it. I would do it for 25,000 XRP, but 20,000 of the XRP would need to be donated to a charity, and 5,000 of the XRP we would give away on the channel to subscribers and followers. How's that? Is that fair? 10,000 XRP doesn't sound like enough to get slapped in the face, you know, like no. Cause then I gotta live with the bruise or the whatever, you know. But hey, if he wants to cough up 25,000 XRP and give 20,000 XRP to a charity and 5,000 XRP we can give away on the channel, sign me up. Yeah, see, like I can't do snakes, man. I cannot do snakes. Oh, I appreciate you, Tails. Thank you, man. That's huge. Thank you so much. Lucky it didn't slide in XPR instead of XRP. Well, like if it was XPR, you couldn't pay me enough, right? No, I mean, you have Jake transfer the XRP and we'll set it up, dude. We'll do it for the community. All right. Yeah, I know. That's why I said 25,000 instead of 10. He might thoroughly enjoy that. I should maybe ask for more. Maybe 50,000. You know, while we're just floating it out there. Jake is jacked. I know he's jacked. Jake should slap himself. He got a broken lip, looking like somebody slapped him or the bag hit him or something. Bro, I would do it for 500 XRP. Can I slap him back? That's the key. Nah, see, like you're not gonna be able to do that. You're just gonna have to take it. If it's for a charity and it does some good, I don't mind somebody slapping me in the face. You know, like I'll live. Going to start a poll for 50K. All right, do it. Do it. What's up, Kame? Good to see you, man. What would you consider a huge bag of XRP? I mean, I think if somebody has 50,000 or 100,000 XRP, that's a lot of XRP, you know? Obviously, if you were in the game in like 2014 or 2015, you probably have millions of XRP because it was so cheap. But like, you know, obviously, you know, having like 1 million XRP, you know, you're in a class of your own. But I think if you own, you know, 1%, something like that, 50,000, 100,000, that's a pretty solid bag. I know it's not worth, you know, it's only worth, you know, 150,000 or 300,000 today, but I think that'll be worth a whole lot of money in the future. He would slap me silly for 10K XRP. We'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, he's got the money. If he wants to come up with it, I'm game, you know. It's such a weird topic, but you know, if we do some good in the world, I'm okay with it. I bet you that dude would get on a plane like tonight. I bet you he would come get on a plane tonight. Yeah, he has a fat lip. I know. I saw the video I just played for you. Or somebody asked for it. I'm a nobody and I'll slap you for 25K. Wait, you're gonna give me 25K to slap me? I mean, like, I feel like maybe I should just do this instead of like, you know, doing crypto research. I could just have people slap me and I could, you know, 25K. I'll have to get like a mouthpiece or something too, so I don't, you know, we'll work it out. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I think for the average person, 10,000, 20,000 XRP, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. That's a big commitment to something. And, you know, XRP hits $1,000, it's 10 million. 10,000 XRP is 10 million. If somehow like crazy shit happens and we get mass adoption of the XRP ledger like we hope, and it goes to 5,000 or 10,000, it's 50 million or $100 million. That'll set somebody up for life. It's worth it for me taking a bet like that. Jake says he's been everywhere: Australia, Persian Gulf, Philippines, Blue Nose Shellback. Really miss Honolulu and the Navy. Facts, man. Now I'm just old and getting into crypto and having a great time. Jake, you're never old, man. You're never old. I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for sharing your stories, and we really appreciate your service, man. Thank you so much. Man, you guys are really getting into this whole slapping thing. I feel like you guys have some some weird thoughts about this. I don't know how to feel about it. Brain damage. Wait, guys, not just a regular slap, a power slap. Oh man, Jeffrey, you want to have him power slap me? Is it going to hold like one of those things on the table so he can get extra leverage in the slap? Man, I feel like I'm getting set up here. Danny, that is a lot of XRP, Danny. And then, you know, just FYI, you probably shouldn't tell people how much crypto you have, because, you know, you will become a target of somebody, right? So just be careful, right? Christopher is crazy, man. He's drinking Red Bull at 9 p.m. Eastern. This channel does that. Oh, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I love me some Red Bull. I actually reached out to Red Bull, man, because I was like, you know, I was drinking a lot of Red Bull, and I was like, you guys interested in, you know, supporting a you know, streamer in crypto? No, we're not interested in crypto. I was like, all right, fair enough. I tried. I reached out though. I was actively interested in that. Brandon Risher, are we talking about XRP price prediction by the end of the year? We talked about this earlier. 20, 30 bucks is where I think it could go. I don't have the same vision of some other people in the space. Some people, you know, 750, 1,000. I just can't see it yet. I work with a vendor that makes Red Bull shoes. Thought of getting you them. They're sweet, man. That sounds really cool, dude. Swift to use Chainlink to use XRP. You know, I think people underestimate how important Chainlink is. Chainlink's a vital piece of making all of this stuff work together, and it is not going anywhere It is not going anywhere. Yeah, I have to agree, James. I have to agree. You know, I think it would be I don't know what I'm looking for here. I don't think it would be right for me to get up here and say something that I don't believe, right? Like when I get up here and I tell you something, it's from the heart, right? It's like what I actually think. And, you know, like I don't want to say something for clicks or clout or views or whatever. I would, you know, letting people down is probably like one of the hardest things that I weigh on my soul, you know, daily. And you know, people trust you, you know, and I don't want to abuse that trust. How confident? Well, so Brandon, so like this is what I think. All right. Like obviously I don't have you know, a crystal ball. This is just you know, me giving you my thoughts. Okay. So here, let's go through it. And just making sure like I'm not a financial advisor, or, you know, I have no insider connections or NDAs or any of that stuff. So I'm just, what I see is what you're going to get. Okay. So over the next few months, you're going to get the Clarity Act, which is regulation for digital assets in the United States. Now, that probably won't go into effect for a while, but that'll still create FOMO in the market. Okay. Now, people will look at $120,000 Bitcoin, they'll look at a $5,000 Ethereum, or they'll look at a $3.50 XRP. What do you think a lot of people are going to choose? Right? They're going to choose XRP, my personal opinion. Then you're going to get, you know, more information about tokenization of financial products. If in fact the European central banks decides to launch a CBDC and they somehow use Ripple's technology, that could be a price boost, right? Any CBDC announcement using Ripple's technology would be a benefit, okay? But when we're talking about actual price movement, we need fresh inflows. The biggest piece of fresh inflows is going to come from ETFs, all right? We've looked at the math. We understand that fresh ETF inflows can impact the price, right? With a market cap multiplier anywhere from 100x to 500x. Okay. So if you get $5 billion in the first 2 months, right? October, November, December, 2 months, because they're going to look at this. I think the decision time for ETFs for XRP is October, like I think it was 18th or 19th, 18th, 19th, and 20th, or 19th, 20th. Something like, you know what? Let's get you the exact information. When will we have an update on spot XRP ETFs from? All right, I'm gonna get you the exact information of when we're expecting this. All right, here we go. October 18th. So this will be the decision for the Grayscale and the Rex Osprey Spot XRP ETF. Excuse me. If these are approved, right, this one and this one, they're going to approve everything else. Okay, so look at this. 18th, 19th, and 20th will be the deciding factor. Okay. Now, if those get approved, you're going to have, you know, 2 full months of fresh inflows for XRP. Now, right now we're sitting at a market cap of roughly, we're at $183 billion. Okay. A 10x would get us to $30, and it would be a $1.8 trillion market cap, right? If you get 5 billion in fresh inflows, and if that 5 billion has a 300 or 400x multiplier on it, you're going to get there. You're going to get to 1.52 trillion market cap, right? We don't know at what point the market cap multiplier will only be like 50x or 25x. Very hard to find that information out. But since there's not a lot of liquidity in XRP right now, you're going to get this big multiplier effect because it's fresh inflows. Buying XRP off the open market to put, you know, they have to, when you're selling these ETFs, they're, you know, some of them are buy one share, and one share is equal to 5 XRP or 10 XRP, right? And so they need to back up the fund with actual XRP, right? So that's fresh demand off the open market. Now there could be a few other things that happen between now and the end of the year, but those are really the biggest catalysts, right? Like we're not going to get into the reverse carry trade, and if Japan's economy collapses and if all of these other things happen, you know, there's 3 more Fed meetings this year too. We should have an understanding of if rates are going to come down. I think they're expecting rates to come down in September. That could also play an impact on extending the market out some. But you know, the music will come to an end here sooner or later, either towards the end of the year or in the first quarter of next year. So I'll be looking out for that. Crypto Sensei, September 9th, the Franklin Templeton EPF. Maybe we mistyped there. Is it ETP? Like electronically traded product? Let me see, Scott. Oh, what? Didn't mean to do that. Okay, hold on. Do you have information on Franklin Templeton spot XRP ETF approval date? Oh, all right. Franklin Templeton follow spot XRP ETF September 9th. Look at that. Most recent reliable information list, September 9th, 2025. Okay. Scott, good call, man. Thank you for saying that. So September 9th, we should get some information. Now, realistically, they probably will push it back to when the rest of them are going to get approved. But like, you got to understand, if the SEC approves one company to have a spot ETF over everybody else, and they have that ETF for a month, I mean, they're going to have a leg up over a lot of other institutions. So I think they probably set it all up on the same time frame, but crazier stuff has happened. Crazier stuff. But thank you for that information. All right, guys, listen, we've been going 2 hours and 30 minutes. I am probably at my full depth here of how much I can just take in and manage here. Listen, I appreciate everyone who showed up today, asked a question, participated in the chat. I appreciate Ariana and William and everybody that left a donation. Great to have you. OSOK, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the $30 you gave. You know, Jason Greaves, you've been here the whole time, man. Thank you for being here. Everyone else, hope you have a great weekend. Spend some time with somebody you love. Spend some time with your dog or your cat or something, man. Maybe your goldfish. I appreciate the love, the support, and the inspiration that you guys give me every single day. It means the world to me. You guys have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. All right? I'll see you on Tuesday. Aloha.